And let's hide this. Okay. So these are the questions we are going to be using these to answer. So what is our best selling product? What is our total revenue? What is the revenue breakdown by payment method? Do you think looking at the table, generally like this, do you think it's easy to bring out our best selling products? Just looking at this. What do you think? Do you think we can easily get it out looking at this data like this in this table format?
What would be the criteria for best selling? Is it the most profitable? Is it the volume? Or what would be the criteria for the?
I mean, most of the time it's the quantity.
Yeah, best selling is just the highest quantity sold.
Yeah, most of the
time. Not the highest profits made.
So that would then be most profitable. So the question then would be, what's the most profitable product?
Yeah.
Because the highest quantity doesn't necessarily mean the highest quantity, the highest profitable product,
No, it never does. That's why we have to go with
the best,
the one that sold most. So it would be quantity that tells us that. Initially, I was thinking around revenue, like the one that would generate most of the revenue. So I think that bit might be debatable, but the best answer, I think, would be how the one that sold most would be, going towards quantity. Okay. So looking at this, we've got fries, beverages, and, all sorts there. How then do we look at this table and straight away determine this is the highest quantity or this is the one with the highest, whichever? It's not easy because we've got so many columns to consider, So one of the ways we make life easy for ourselves is inserting something we call the pivot table. So I've got my one of the, you can pick any cell at all. You don't have to pick the whole table. So as long as it's saying that you have picked a cell, we just come to insert and we have our pivot table here. If I click on the drop down, it says from table range or from external data source, So ours is from table range. Well, I don't use this drop down. I just click on the top of here straight away. And immediately I did that. We've got this dialog box coming. It says pivot table from table or range. Select a table or range. So it selected our table. It's called it table 4. So that's the name it's given to this. And we can see those dancing dots, which tells us it's picked it, Sometimes if it hasn't really picked it, you just need to come to this arrow pointing upward here and, just come get your data. But we've got it, so we don't need to do that, okay? It's now asking us, choose where you want pivot table to be placed. Do you want it to be placed in the existing worksheet? So if we want it to be placed exactly here, where we've got our data, we'll say existing worksheet. But that would not look nice. We want it on a new worksheet. So it's picked that for us, Now it's asking for location. I don't think I'll bother myself with that. Let's see. There's also choose whether you want to analyze multiple tables. In our case, we've got just one table that we want to analyze, not multiple. It's just these sales that we want to analyze. Had it been we have many tables to consider and we'll get there, we might want to consider looking at data model. And that's the data model, something similar to what we've got in Power BI as well. Okay. So if I go on to click OK here, it's gone on to bring a new worksheet, which it opened and it's named it sheet 1. Okay, and we've got the pivot table here. It says to build a report, choose fields from the pivot table field list. That's what we have on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, all the columns that we have is come to list them here. It says pivot table fields. Those are the columns. Choose field to add to report. Okay, so this is where we can then decide to, choose the fields that we want to consider against what. So I can say, okay, I want to look at my products. Okay. Now, one thing I normally do here is I go to the setting, this plug here, and I tell it to sort it in the right order for me, sort it A to Z, so that I'm not looking for things where they are not. So it's easy to come and, I can easily see products now. So if I wanted products to be as part of my analysis, I can go on and do that. I clicked on products. Now it's placed our products in rows. We've got different sectors or segments here as well, segments actually, where if you want to place your filter here, whichever one you want to use as filter, if it's applicable, whatever you want as column. Most of the time, anything that's got to do with numbers come under values where they can be aggregated. And anything descriptive comes under row. That's why it's automatically placed that there. So if you don't want to click, you can actually drag. You can drag the field and drag it to wherever you want it, So I prefer to just click so that I see where it places it. If I don't like it, I can always change it, And we've said quantity is what determines the best selling. So I click on quantity and straight away it's come to sum it up. Now, sum of quantities. If I click the down arrow there, there's different parameters that we can look through. If you want to move to report filter, move to row labels, move to column labels, if you want to remove the field, or if you want to do more. So let's go value field setting. Say I don't want to sum this, I want to count. Okay, we count it. Count, okay, changes that, okay, in quantity to 50. Okay, say I don't want that either. Can we still hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So say I want to find the average, I'll do that, and it changes, to average, and so on and so forth. If you want to find the max for each, let's see what that does. Okay, that's the maximum for each one. And if you want to find the minimum for each one, minimum is right there, the minimum value for each one. I believe that in this case, it should be sum that we are using, sum of the quantities that we are using. And if we want to format, if we don't like how this is presented, we want to format it. Number formats is there, where it takes us to number. Do I want decimal places at all? If I do, how many decimal places? We see that there's loads of decimal places here. Maybe I want to just, restrict it to 2. And if this is applicable, use the comma, the 1,000 separator. That would be nice, okay? So if I okay that and okay this as well, now we've got that looking better. And I can decide to cancel that. I can decide to rename this actually, sum of quantity. Okay, so maybe I want to say total quantity rather than sum of quantity. So just gonna change that to total. Just so it's, looks a little better. Okay, and this says row labels. Okay, row labels is not telling us a good header. It's not really a good header. So we can double click that and change that to products because that's what it is. Okay, so products. Okay, so, and from here we can see which has the highest quantity and which has the lowest quantity. I see blanks here and I'm wondering where does blank come from? That would be from our table. So I'm going to remove that, you know. So sometimes you don't want the grand total. If you don't want the grand total, there is a way to remove it, you know, from here. If we haven't been told to put it in a chart, just as a table like this looks fine, you know, but you can decide to even make it more visual, you know. Let's see if I can pick that. And if I come to, I want to make it more visual, I come to my charts. So we've got different options here. Pivot chart is there. If I don't want that, I can come to recommended insert charts. Which of these charts would, you know, present this table better in the best way? Is it the column or the bar chart? Okay, and try and see what each one is or what each one looks like, and then decide. Okay, so that would look like that, right? Does this really show my stakeholders which is the best selling? You know, that would then be your decision to make. There are different formattings that you can do to this chart as well. You know, some people like to see numbers, so they'll be fine with this. Whereas some people are more visual, so they would want something pictorial, and that's why your charts are. That's where your charts are really important. If you want to change it from this, we can play around different types of charts. If we don't want that, let's see which best captures the essence of what we are talking about. Okay, this is another one. Okay, so we can decide to use the pie chart. Okay, the pie is here. I mean, there's a kind of a conflict, I'm thinking. If I don't look well, there's a kind of conflict between how large this pie is and how large this pie is and that one, you know. So it'd be best if I can give more information, you know, around here, put the numbers in here somewhere. We'll deal with how to format charts at some point. But this is just running us through the different options that we have. Okay, and here I've got the bar chart, which presents our data like that. Compared to the column chart, I think the bar chart gives me a better, you know, visual that beverages is slightly, you know, bigger in quantity than fries, you know. So let's look at this and see what this plus here. There's a few more things you can do. This is axis, talking about your primary vertical. So if I decide not to unclick those, what happens? I click it back, what happens? Something disappeared just now, I unclick that, okay. So that is me saying that I don't want to see all of these products here. And that would be counterproductive. How do I know which is which if I do that? So I'm not going to click that off. Let's look at the primary horizontal as well. Same goes here, okay? You can decide to put the numbers inside the bar and just take off the x-axis if that's what you want. But that's just a matter of choice. You know, if we've got legends, in this case, we don't have legend, but you know, the one showing here, this blue thing here is like the key that's telling us which is which. Okay, in our case, in this particular scenario, that is not really useful. We can see that the blue is all totals. It's not telling us this color is side and others, or this color is fries, and you know. So I'll take that off because it's not useful. And that gives us more space to display our charts. If I don't want these grid lines, I can take it off. So sometimes I prefer not to have it, and sometimes it's useful. In this case, I think it might be useful to have it on. Something happened here. There's an overlap, So this is where you look into your x-axis, and see what is that about. Okay, so let's say, okay. So which means I'll rather, just so that makes sense for now, I'll rather have that, clicked right. And that is what, bar chart is. Line charts are for time series. So say you want to look at sales of a particular product over time. Lines are always good to use. Let's see what it does in this case. If it's useful in this case or not. Look at that. So beverages is pointing it in that direction, almost at 35. And then it comes down to burgers and then down to chicken and sandwiches and on and on like that. So this is not really how to use a line chart. So I wouldn't recommend a line chart for this one. And I believe the same goes for area graph is also not, So you'll find as we go along that there are particular charts that are really good for certain to display certain results. So for now, let's stick with the bar one because that really displays the essence of what we want to see proper or better. Okay, if I don't want all these to take space, total quantity, products, I can. This is good because sometimes you just want to exempt. Maybe I don't want to see beverages at the moment. I just filter it out there. So that's why sometimes it might be useful. But if it's not useful to me, I can hide it. Okay, so let's cancel that. I don't want, I can hide this. I'm just right-clicking. Okay, I can right-click on anyone. And when you right-click on this, you've got all these options. Hide value field buttons on the chart, or hide all value field buttons. I want to hide all. Okay, I don't want this axis title here. Okay, so let's see if I can check that. Okay, that's better. Okay, and now I've got to look for a way around making this look better. And my title, that just says total. Okay, what title best befits this chart? Let's change this title. I need suggestion from you.
Sales quantity.
Okay, sales quantity or product by quantity. Should we say product by quantity? Because sales is something else, quantity is something else as well.
Yeah, product quantity.
Okay. So because this is displaying the product. That is an interesting spelling for quantity. Oh, my key is not working. Okay, that's better. All right, so that captures it better. Okay, if I don't want this color, should we go into, no, we won't do formatting just yet. Okay, so we'll do formatting, how to really make your work look really beautiful at some point. But it's good that we capture the basics, of it today, and you can resize and do that, So it's easy. We could get this easily because I think I filtered something out. We could get this easily because we use the pivot table. So it became easier to just, this is what I want to see in my in my presentation. This is what I don't want. Unlike, just being faced with all of the columns, looking at all of the columns at the same time. Let's quickly go through the questions here, then we can decide to do some other things. It says, what is our total revenue? What is our total revenue? How do you think we can achieve that? How do we get our total revenue?
Oh my. Is it not the sum of the total sum of sales? Sorry, I didn't realize I was even muted.
Yeah, no, you are not muted. We can hear you.
I was chewing. I didn't realize I wasn't muted. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. It's good that you were not muted. At least that we could hear you. I'm just going to copy this table here. Control C that. Because I wanna just use it again so that I don't have to restart a new one. Okay, let's hide you again. Okay, so I just copied all of this, pasted it here so that I can change whatever it is I want to change here for the next question. Okay, so we don't need product for our next question. We can remove it. We were asked for the total revenue, isn't it? So if I click total revenue and I remove quantity, because we don't need quantity. Okay, so the question just says, what is our total revenue? Okay, so this is our total revenue right here. So we can change the name of that again. Total revenue. I would have loved for the
Sorry,
question.
how did you do that total revenue now? Sorry.
Okay, I'll go through it again. Total revenue. All right, what was done? Oh. Okay, let's that for now. Okay, so you understand how we made this pivot table. Brother Ami, do you understand how we made?
Yeah, to some extent, although I came in, but to some extent I was just following.
Okay. Anyway, we are recording it. Okay, so I copied this table here, this pivot table, copied it down here, and I removed most of the things here. And all I did was just click on, let's come back here. You see, because I picked this table, it's gone back to highlight what we have on this table, on the pivot table fields. If I click on this one, it shows us just the total revenue. Okay. So all I did was just click on the revenue, and it gave us the sum of it here.
Oh.
So just click on it here because it's a number formatted field. Everything numbered automatically just come under values. So if you don't want it to sum it for you, we can click on the down arrow there, value field, and if it's the average that was asked for example, we click on the average and okay that, and that changes it to average for us. Yeah. Okay, but we were asked for the total, which is the sum. Okay, I'm just gonna change that name so that it looks better. Total revenue, and maybe a bit of number formatting might help. So 2 decimal places, we can ask for the 1000 separator, and we can okay that, and that looks more readable. 801,184.52 £184.52. That is our total revenue. Okay.
Can we include the currency?
We can, yeah. So again, we go back. Pivot table analyze. Let me see if it's doable from this point. If not, then we go into the number format and do it. No, it won't be doable from here. Okay, that's fine. Let's go back into the value field setting and number format. Okay. In that case, I'm going to name it currency. Okay. And it's already automatically chosen the pound sign there for us. We are still okay with the 2 decimal places. And so we can okay that, okay this as well. And now we have the pound sign there. Okay. So the next question says, what is the revenue breakdown by payment method? Okay, so it's just a continuation of what is our total revenue. So we've succeeded in finding the total revenue now. How do we break it down now? By payment method. There's different ways we can do that. Okay, but one way is to come here back to the pivot table field and look for payment method, and I just clicked on the payment method, and it broke it down into cash, credit card, and the blankets from our table, which we should have sorted out really. It's not nice to see blanks, Well, we see, yeah, we can do that. Okay, so this is the best way to present it because that's what they asked for anyway. Okay, or better still, I could have, rather than do this actually, so that we have three. We have the
copy the table again.
Yes,
Yeah.
let me copy the table again. That's the best thing to do. So Control Shift down that, Control C this, and then we have, I can come down here and Control V that. Then I can add the payment method to this last one so that we have question 1 answered here, question 2 answered here, and question 3 answered here. Okay, so that is how to answer the questions that we were asked. We can go on to, I'm just going to take this off for now. It's not really a cup of tea at the moment. So I changed my keyboard and I'm looking for the delete button on this one. Let's see if this works. Yeah, that works fine. Let's escape this as well. Okay. So there's something we call, let me click on one of them. There's under pivot table design, there's something we call slicer. Okay, so we can decide to insert slicer, we can decide to insert timeline. Okay, so if we want to say we want to really analyze this further, we can slice by, say, by country or region or by city. Okay, and there's nothing stopping us from having the 2 actually. And maybe I'll use date for timeline. So I won't put that here. Or you can, we may even want to look at this by manager, see how each manager did, Okay, so I'll okay those 3 for now. So it's brought our slicers, and I love using slicers. They used to really excite me. It's the interactions that it gives that makes it really exciting. Okay. All right. So we've got by city, we've got by country or region, and we've got by manager, this manager. So say I want to answer these questions that we have answered by city. Say, okay, what are the products with the best selling products in Berlin? Okay, I just come here and click on Berlin. Let me unfilter. Just check out. Let's keep an eye on our numbers. Okay, so immediately I go on to Berlin, the numbers changed. So beverages became under burgers because beverages is our highest selling product in this city. So but total revenue hasn't changed. I wanted that to change. And I don't believe this changed either, okay? So this is where, again, we come to look at our interactions, look at the connections. Do I want this to only filter products and that's it? or I want you to filter through all. I want you to filter through all. So I'll come under slicer now because we've picked a slicer. So these are called slicers. So under slicer, I come to report connections, okay? And we can see under the connection, it's only interacting with pivot table 1, the first one. It's got nothing to do with 2 and 3. So I'm gonna click those. I want you to interact with all, okay? And I want same for this one as well. And I want same for this one as well. Okay. Okay. So that should be better now. Okay. So if you observe, I clicked on that now, and now we see a better interaction. So in Berlin, this is the quantity these are the quantities we have for these products. This is the total revenue that was generated in that city. And the revenue was generated in this order. Cash was 52,800, credit card was 10,400, and gift card was 37,400. So we can then decide to keep looking into why aren't they spending more from credit card? Is that good for business for us or not? And I see that this also filter each other. I don't want that to be the case, to be honest. But anyway, Lisbon has that, London has that, Madrid has that, Paris has that. What's with the blank? Okay, that's fine. Okay, but if I want to look at things by city, France gives us, this result. Germany gives that, Portugal gives that, Spain and UK gives that. And if I just want to appraise my managers, see how they performed from the total of 800 and something thousand, how much did silver bring in? Let's say, okay, that's not bad. 273,000 from 801. Okay, how about Pablo? Pablo brought in less. Remy brought in even lesser than the two of them. Okay, Tom Jackson and Silva. Okay, actually Silva is still leading, and Walter brought in that much. Okay. So these are the basics really of starting to query your data using Excel. We're still scratching the surface, but I mean, if we can do as much as what we've done so far, I think then we are starting to journey. It's a good place to be for now, but we can do better, and we'll keep doing better. Today is the day 9 of our challenge, so we still got 21 days more. And I cannot wait to unravel what that would look like for us. Have we got any question at this point at all?
Mr. Deb, is day 8.
It's day 8?
Yes.
I'm jumping up.
8.
I am jumping.
But I really can't. I don't want anything to miss. It's day 8.
You're right. Yeah, yesterday was day 7.
Yeah. Today is day 8. So we still have 22